All right, so we're gonna give her a nice amount of spray. I'm gonna bring you a little bit closer. Okay, good. So what you wanna remember is that you have to be at the right height, okay? So we don't wanna see everybody bending over. So get the tables to come up to you, okay? And then we're gonna just make sure I didn't spray too heavy, so that should be pretty good and ready to go. So we've got heel and lace pads have the edges, okay, when we rip them. So I like to do the edges up and down on the joint, okay? Because you'll see there's these little bumps and ridges on the roll. It just sits better if you do it that way. So where these go are gonna be where the heel and lace pads, where the laces will cross and where the shoe will come up and hit. So right at this sort of the crux of their ankle needs to be protected. And then right where a lot of those tendons are, and then right back there where the Achilles tendon is where we need to make sure we're protecting, okay? So then from here, we're gonna start down below. Okay, now pre-wrap, the first part you just gotta get it on them. You see how I'm a little on the skin? Just a little off the heel and lace pad. I'm not down here by her toes at all, okay? So I'm just off of it. I wanna make sure I capture that. And now I'm gonna start, we don't pull too hard on the pre-wrap because it's gonna roll under there. But I'm not gonna pull too loose so that I see gaps in dog ears, okay? That's gonna be a technique issue you're gonna all work out. The issue comes right around here, around the bony area of the ankle. Do you see how I just kind of hugged? I'm just hugging it and then bam, going up. Now we have to stop her musculoskeletal junction. You can see her muscle. You have to stop before you get there, okay? With your pre-wrap. Now, some of you are gonna have trouble doing that. We're gonna practice. We just want you to kind of do a spiral technique up. Sometimes you'll see athletic trainers, they'll come from below, go above, and come back down. It's not wrong. It just adds more pre-wrap. So if you can hit it with the least amount of pre-wrap and still do that, I'm okay with that. You just can't be doing 10 wraps around your ankle because you keep missing the loops, because all you're doing is making it thicker and thicker and you still haven't even put your tape on. Okay, so we want as thin as possible, sweep on the way up, stop short of the junction. Okay, now we start with our anchors. Okay, so this is why I just taught it to you coming under your thigh, because you're gonna come under and you're gonna attach the anchor. Okay, 2 anchors, 50% on top of each other. Okay, it has to be the first one's on the skin. 50% on the skin, 50% on the pre-wrap, then the next one can go just below it. That's the stuff everything's gonna attach to, okay? So now we're going to go for our what's the word I'm looking for? My strips, my U-strips, okay? So now we're going to come, you see her bone and her bone here, right? Okay, so we've got, that's our malleolar block that we need, okay? We're gonna come and do our strips here. We're gonna attach medially along that guy, okay? Come around, I give her a little nudge. You see I come under, I rip, and I lay down. You see how I also pushed her into dorsiflexion, right? So use your body. These guys can overlap right on top of each other, or they can be fanned out a little bit. Now once I've got my strips in place here, I'm gonna stay there and I'm gonna attach one more, and I'm gonna get my first C-strip on there so that I locked it in, so I don't have to worry now as I'm doing all my heel locks and my figure eights that those are gonna pop off, Okay, they're locked in. Okay, so those are going to be providing our medial and lateral stability with dorsiflexion. We're going to assume this is a plantar flexion inversion sprain, which is typically how it happens. Okay, so now we're going to come and we're going to do our first figure 8. Now, the angle for our figure 8 is going to be in the right along this calcaneus here. Okay, this is going to be an angle that you guys are going to struggle with. You're going to place it, come under the foot, come around. On top of the foot, do you see the pressure I put in? I'm crossing her talus right here. As I come under, I pass it, I cross the talus again, and I finish where I started. Okay, that's my first figure 8. Now I'm going to go after my heel locks. We're going to do a medial and a lateral heel lock. From the top of the foot, you're going to follow, again, this sort of like X formation. Okay, it's going to go behind the heel and the Achilles, and it's going to come down towards you, under the foot. Come back around, cross the same X you just were at on the talus, back behind the tibia, cross over. You see that gap? I'm about to close my first gap, and I finish out there. Okay? Now I'm going to go laterally, same angle, kind of along the tibia, behind, come under the foot, come towards you, come up, I put pressure in, I cross, same spot every time, behind, and I finish more medially. Now that ankle is locked. It's not going anywhere now. Okay, you're going to keep telling them, hold up there for me. Now we're going to do our closure strips. So I'm going to bisect the calcaneus. I'm going to come towards the foot. You see how I just kind of connected those there? 50% over that one. Lay it down. 50%. Now her tibia is starting to get more narrow. So I'm going to follow her angles. You see how they're becoming more lateral here? First they were sort of coming towards me. Then they wrapped towards the talus. Now they're wrapping around the tibia. All I'm doing is following her anatomy. Okay? We're going to go back in and do one more figure 8 for the last bit of support. Finish where I started. Then I'm going to close the top. This is a C-strip over the dorsum of the foot. It doesn't need to connect, but usually they do. I'm not putting down hardly any tension here. I'm just closing it so the rest of the foot's now protected, where the laces are going to go. Okay, I'm not coming from above on top, and I'm not just wrapping around, because all you're going to do is pinch the metatarsals. Okay, and now we're ready to go. So it should feel tight because it's going to loosen over time. Okay, so we've got